Hello and welcome to the Whoniverse, and to another instalment of the History of Doctor Who series. This time I'm not looking at a universe concrete species, but a tin dog. Yes, the Doctor's past travelling companion, K9. There have been many versions of K9, and he has appeared alongside numerous Doctors and other companions. So to shake things up a bit, let's give a dog a bone and check out the history of K9. Professor Frederick Marius, who invented the first K9 in the year 5000 while working on the asteroid K4067, described him as my best friend and constant companion. Marius had a dog on Earth, but weight requirements did not allow him to bring his real dog into space, so he built K9. He built K9 by using the latest technology. Marius used his own medical computer, a state-of-the-art intra-responsive brain app, protective anti-radiation cladding, probes, a laser scalpel, and a vision and voice box, and 2 scanning antennas. He put these parts together and created K9. The Professor offered K9 Mark I to the Fourth Doctor, as the same weight requirements made him unable to take Mark I back to Earth. After adventures with Leela and the Doctor, Mark I decided to stay on Gallifrey with his mistress. The Fourth Doctor and K9 Mark I spent a short period of time together. However, the Doctor appeared to be activating K9 Mark II, implying that no significant time had passed since leaving Gallifrey. Some accounts suggest that K9 Mark I went on missions on behalf of the Time Lords and was given control of a space vessel called K-Nel. K9 stayed with Leela on Gallifrey for many years. It was only after the disappearance of her Time Lord husband, Andred, that Leela and her K9 met Romana II and her K9. The two K9s did not get on well and competed. After Leela became Romana's bodyguard, and after many important missions on her behalf, Leela's K9 was destroyed by an exploding bomb. Leela was heartbroken, but refused to have a duplicate unit built. Now, before the events with Romana on Gallifrey, the Doctor obtained or constructed at least one backup model of K9. Immediately after leaving Mark I behind with Leela, he unpacked K9 Mark II. This version of K9 accompanied the Doctor and his new companion on their quest to locate the segments of the key to time. Often, though, the tough terrain of different planets made it difficult for K9 to join in on different adventures. At the conclusion of the quest, the Shadow turned K9 to his evil will, giving K9 a sinister personality. When this was resolved, the Fourth Doctor found that K9 had contracted laryngitis, and had lost his voice as a result of this. K9 was left in the TARDIS while the Doctor and Romana II battled the Daleks and Davros. During a later adventure, he remained patiently in the TARDIS, which would imply that his voice had not yet returned. After his voice did return, it sounded quite different and remained so for a while, before the familiar voice returned again. As sophisticated as K9 was, he still managed to short-circuit himself when he chased a bull into the seas of Brighton Beach. This K9 exhibited the ability to sense and warn others of danger. He was also more mobile than his predecessor, despite his problems with the swamps of Delta 3. K9 travelled to E-Space with the Fourth Doctor and Romana II, where they met Adric. K9 had his head knocked off while trying to defend Romana, Adric versed Tilos and Kira. Damaged by the time winds, K9 Mark II could not cross back into N-Space with the Doctor. He decided to stay behind at the gateway with Romana II, to help her free the remaining Farrells from slavery. Eventually, Romana II and the presumably repaired K9 returned to their own universe, and K9 Mark II came to live on Gallifrey. During Romana's presidency of Gallifrey, Leela became her bodyguard, and the two K9 units were forced to work together. Not always admissibly, after Matthias had replaced Romana as president, he nominated her to undertake a mission to find a cure for the free-time virus. K9 opted to remain in the employ of Matthias, fighting the infection on Gallifrey. However, K9 had planned another operation. Realizing that the only cure to the virus was to end the regeneration capabilities of the Time Lords, Braxatil used the Time Scoop to collect the Time Lord biodata archive, along with K9. Romana was asked to decide whether to administer the cure or let Gallifrey die, and rebuild it from scratch with her biodata archive. After the events on Gallifrey, a third model of K9, K9 Mark III, again either obtained or constructed by the Doctor, was shipped in 1978 to Sarah Jane Smith at the home she had shared with her Aunt Lavinia, in South Croydon during her companionship of the Third and Fourth Doctors. However, Sarah Jane had already gone away and was travelling extensively. The following year, Lavinia purchased a manor house and market garden in Moreton Harwood, Gloucestershire, and took the still-created K9 with her. On 18th December 1981, Sarah Jane and her foster brother Brandon Richards arrived at Lavinia's home for Christmas. But Lavinia had already left early for a lecture series in the United States. Sarah Jane opened the crate and received her new companion, K9 Mark III. K9 helped Sarah Jane to defeat Moreton Harwood's murderous Hecate cult, and in around 1983, K9 Mark III and Sarah Jane lived in a semi-detached house where their gate bore "Beware the Dog" sign, and Sarah Jane permitted him outside unconcealed. Sensing danger, he advised Sarah Jane to either not go outside or to take him with her. She declined, and K9 thus did not accompany her to Gallifrey. Many years later, in 2007, K9 was reactivated by the 10th Doctor, as Sarah Jane was unable to go to any humans for repairs beforehand, as the parts inside K9 could change history. K9's repairs were short-lived. In battling Mr. Finch and his Krillitane invasion at the school the next day, Mark III blew up a vat of Krillitane oil, which was now lethal to the Krillitanes, destroying himself and the Krillitanes in the process. As a heartbroken Sarah Jane watched the 10th Doctor depart, the TARDIS dematerialized to reveal K9 Mark IV. K9 said that the Doctor rebuilt him with new omni-flexible hyperlink capabilities. And he would need them, as almost as soon as he arrived, K9 Mark IV left Sarah Jane to stabilize a dangerous black hole in space which had been created in Switzerland. He could only speak with Sarah Jane occasionally via a cabinet with a space-time link, when the orbit of the black hole intersected with Earth's, and did not know when he could complete the job. However, he returned to Earth very briefly during emergencies. He did so on 2 later occasions in order to render vital assistance. The first time he fought Mr. Smith in a pitched battle to give Sarah Jane time to upload the Armageddon virus, and the second time he quickly uploaded TARDIS base codes to Mr. Smith, assisting the 10th Doctor in returning Earth to its correct location in space. After these events, he returned to monitoring the black hole. He emerged to find a member of the Slevene family attempting to steal him as part of a revenge plot against Sarah Jane, as she had foiled their plans in the past. K9 banished the Slevene after reversing one of its attacks. Then K9 returned when ship used the black hole as fuel. Though Sarah Jane, Luke, Rani and Clyde were happy to have K9 back, Mr. Smith was not so much. K9 spent a lot of his time in Sarah Jane's attic. He attended Sarah Jane's wedding to Peter Dalton, where he helped the 10th Doctor, Luke, Rani and Clyde defeat the Trickster. The wedding was then cancelled due to the death of Peter. After helping defeat members of the Slevene family, Clyde brought K9 to Parkvale Comprehensive School to help him with his test. He helped defeat the Ratqueed before returning home. K9 went to the University of Oxford with Luke Smith and restored Mr. White's original programming through a mobile phone call. Now K9 also made some appearances in the stories known as Search Out Space, in which K9 operates a large computer, and the children need special dimensions in time. As far as I am aware, which model of K9 it is in these stories is unknown. Now at the start of this video I looked at Mark I of K9, and it turns out that this K9 model survived the Time War and actually regenerated as in a TV series known as K9. In the first scenes featured the original K9 unit destroying itself to save a group of humans from an alien race known as the Jixen. The K9 model was fitted with a regeneration unit, which activated and restored K9. But much like when the Doctor regenerates, K9 now looks completely different, and experienced the strange case of amnesia, but has no memories of previous adventures. This K9 unit had many adventures with the Griffin family, defeating numerous alien threats. One of these adventures almost leads to the death of K9, as its power core was burnt out. Luckily, the regeneration unit activated at the last minute, thus K9 was back in action once again. And that is it, the history of K9 or many K9s, a robot dog from the year 5000 capable of being more than a Time Lord's best friend. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. What's your favourite story featuring K9? Feel free to leave your answer in the comments below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.